Do not skip this. This message is for you. Heaven marked this moment. Your finger almost scrolled away, but your spirit hesitated, because this is not random. This is not coincidence. This is timing, divine timing. I have been watching you, in the quiet, in the worry, in the sleepless nights, in the moments when you stared at the ceiling and whispered, "God, I don't know how much longer I can hold on." I heard that whisper, and the angels recorded it. You feel the ground shifting beneath you. You feel the pressure closing in. You feel the walls of your life trembling. And now you are afraid, because you sense that you are about to lose the house you live in. Yes, the place that has held your laughter and your tears, the walls that heard your prayers in the dark. Common God is with me if you trust His plan for your life, the roof that protected you from storms, the door you closed each night, hoping tomorrow would be safer. You feel it slipping. You feel the grip loosening. Not because you failed, not because you are forgotten, but because something old is ending, and something greater is being prepared. You think this loss means abandonment. Heaven says the shaking is rearrangement. You think this is punishment. Heaven calls it redirection. You think you are being evicted from safety. Heaven says you are being escorted into destiny. I know you are tired. I know you are carrying shame you never deserved. You replay every mistake. You count every dollar and every regret. You ask yourself where it all went wrong. You wonder why prayer feels delayed. But listen to me now. Listen without fear. The house you fear losing was a shelter, but it was never your final resting place. It kept you alive for a season, but it cannot hold the next version of you. You begged for stability. I am giving you transformation. You begged for survival. I am opening doors for overflow. What feels like eviction is actually extraction. What feels like rejection is divine rescue. You think you are losing everything. You are being released from what would have limited you forever. Heaven is watching this moment closely. The angels are speaking your name right now. They are not mourning with you. They are preparing with you. You are not being pushed out into the cold. You are being pulled into alignment. I see the panic in your chest. I see the tightness in your breath. You are trying not to cry. You are trying to stay strong for everyone else. Type amen if you feel God is speaking to you right now. But you feel like collapsing in secret, because faith feels heavy right now. You don't need to pretend with me. I already know how scared you are. You are afraid of where you will sleep. You are afraid of what people will say. You are afraid of looking like a failure, even though you fought harder than anyone knows. But hear this clearly. Your worth is not tied to your address. Your destiny is not locked inside those walls. Your future is not canceled by a notice on a door. I am the God who moved my people with nothing but a promise. I am the God who split seas when escape looked impossible. And I am still that God. And I am still with you now. This loss is not the end. It is the sound of chains breaking that you mistook for collapse. The shaking you feel is not destruction. It is preparation. You are being prepared for something big, bigger than that house could ever contain. A new covering is being formed. A new shelter is being built by unseen hands. You cannot see it yet, but heaven already has the keys. The date you fear is not marked for tragedy. It is marked for transition. You will not be homeless in the spirit. You will not be abandoned by heaven. The storm you are in is rearranging more than it is destroying. It is uprooting what would have suffocated you later. You begged me for change in quieter seasons. Now change has arrived like thunder. Do not confuse the noise with danger. Do not confuse urgency with abandonment. You are not being erased. You are being rewritten. You are not being punished. You are being repositioned. You stood in that house and cried. You stood in that house and almost gave up. But you also stood in that house and survived what should have destroyed you. That season is complete. What comes next requires new ground. new strength, new perspective. You feel unready, but heaven has been preparing you longer than you realize. Every tear trained you. Every delay disciplined you. Every closed door taught you how to walk by faith alone. Now the next door will not open gently. It will open suddenly. It will not open because you earned it. It will open because it was promised. And when it opens, you will understand why the old door had to close. You think provision has dried up, but heaven says provision has been redirected. Join our membership and take your spiritual journey to the next level. As a member, you'll get exclusive access to powerful messages, early releases, and deeper insights into God's Word. Don't miss out. Become a member today and experience God's blessings in a whole new way. You think help has disappeared, but angels are being reassigned to you even now. There are conversations happening about you in places you cannot enter. There are decisions shifting in rooms you cannot see. Your name is being spoken by people who do not even know why they feel compelled to help you. That is not chance. That is orchestration. That is favor moving silently ahead of you. You fear the phone call. You fear the letter. You fear the knock at the door, because it feels like loss is closer than hope. But listen to me. Hope is closer than you think. The enemy showed you the eviction. Heaven already saw the replacement. The enemy showed you the ending. Heaven already wrote the continuation. What you think is your last week there is actually the final chapter of survival mode. You are stepping out of barely enough. You are stepping into just in time. Do you remember how many times you should have been crushed already? Do you remember how many times you survived when you were sure you wouldn't? That was not luck. That was protection. That was me shielding you while you were too tired to shield yourself. You were never alone in those rooms, even when the house felt empty. You were never unseen in those prayers, even when the ceiling felt silent. The delay was not neglect. The delay was alignment. If I had moved you earlier, you would have walked into something unprepared. If I had rescued you sooner, you would have returned to what broke you. So I waited, and you grew without realizing it. Your faith deepened in the dark. Your endurance strengthened in the unknown. Now the ground beneath you feels unstable, because you are no longer meant to stay there. You call it danger. Heaven calls it departure. You call it loss. Heaven calls it launch. You are uncomfortable because comfort would keep you small. You are shaking because stagnation would have destroyed you slowly. The fear in your chest is not a warning of destruction. It is the signal that movement has begun. You are moving even when you feel frozen. You are being carried even when you feel dropped. The money you need will not come the way you expect. The door you need will not look the way you imagined. But it will come, and it will open at the moment you think it is truly over. I will intervene without announcing myself. You will call it coincidence. You will call it timing. But your spirit will know it was me. The help will feel sudden. The relief will feel unreal. One day soon you will sit somewhere new, and you will remember how terrified you were today. And you will whisper, I didn't see this coming. But heaven did. The next place will not just be shelter. It will be restoration. The next door will not just close behind you. It will separate you from what drained you. You are not losing a home. You are shedding a chapter that was built for survival, not for thriving. What comes next will not feel like barely making it. It will feel like breathing again. The nights will be quieter. The weight will be lighter. Your sleep will return. Your laughter will follow. You will still remember the fear, but it will no longer control you. You are not being punished for your past. You are being protected from your future. There were things tied to that place you could not see. There were limits wrapped in those walls you did not know were shaping you. I am removing you before those limits become permanent. I am pulling you out before the ground collapses further. What feels like being forced out is actually being spared. What feels like rejection is actually rescue. You asked me to change your life. You asked me to interrupt the cycle. This is the interruption. This is the change. I am not late. I am precise. I am not cruel. I am careful. I am not taking from you without replacing. I am exchanging survival for stability. You will look back and realize the season saved you, even though it terrified you. You will testify about this shaking, even though it nearly broke you, because the next chapter will be so different. You will hardly recognize the person who once cried in that house. You will be stronger. You will be steadier. You will trust without trembling. You will breathe without fear. And when you tell the story, you will not talk about losing your home. You will talk about the moment everything finally changed. You are not forgotten in this crisis. You are not overlooked in this storm. Heaven is watching you closely. The angels are guarding you quietly. You are being covered while you feel exposed. You are being guided while you feel lost. Do not give up now. Do not surrender to the panic now. You are closer to breakthrough than you have ever been. You are closer to rescue than you have ever been. Hold on in this final stretch. Even if your hands are shaking, trust me in this narrow passage, even if you cannot see the end yet, because on the other side of this pressure, on the other side of this loss, there is light, there is restoration, there's a door already opening with your name on it, and one day very soon, you will stand in a place you never imagined, and you will realize you were never losing your home, you were being led home. Rest now. Breathe now. You are safe in my hands. And when you are ready, listen to the next message meant just for you. Heaven is not finished speaking over your life. There are tears you have not yet cried, and there are answers you have not yet heard. You think silence means absence, but silence is where miracles are conceived. You believe nothing is happening, but everything is happening beneath the surface. Roots grow in darkness before trees appear in light. So do destinies. So do miracles. You have been planted, not buried. You have been delayed, not denied. What feels like waiting is actually strengthening. What feels like silence is direction being stitched together slowly. Heaven does not rush what must last. Heaven does not expose what is not yet ready. You asked for stability. But first you had to be separated from shaky ground. You asked for peace. But first the storm had to move you to the right shore. You asked for security. But first the false security had to be stripped away. I see the fear in your future questions. I see the dread in your practical thoughts. You ask where you will go. You ask how you will survive. You ask who will help you. You ask if anyone will show up. And I answer quietly but firmly. I will. I will open what no one else can open. I will sustain you when numbers don't make sense. I will move hearts you cannot reach. I will shift systems you cannot touch. You will not beg for the miracle. The miracle will pursue you. You will not chase the door. The door will find you. You are not running out of time. You are stepping into appointed time. This moment has been written long before you were afraid of it. This season has been scheduled by mercy, not by loss. You think you arrived at this cliff by accident, but I led you here on purpose, not to push you, but to teach you to fly. Your panic thinks you are about to fall. Your faith is learning how to rise. You are learning to trust without evidence. You are learning to walk without clear ground. And that faith will become your greatest possession, far greater than any building you ever lived in. You will one day hold keys again, but those keys will open more than a door. They will open a future you once thought was impossible. You will smile again without forcing it. You will sleep again without fear racing your heart. You will dream again without anxiety interrupting your hope. The memory of this place will soften. The trauma will lose its voice. The loss will turn into a story of deliverance. The fear will turn into proof of protection. You will no longer say, I almost lost everything. You will say, I almost stayed where I was not meant to remain. And you will thank me for the shaking, even though you once begged me to stop it, because you will see what the shaking saved you from, and you will see what it carried you toward. You are stronger than the notice on the door. You are greater than the threat in the mailbox. You are more than the fear in your chest tonight. You are more than the uncertainty in your tomorrow. You are mine, and what belongs to me is never abandoned. Not in storms, not in loss, not in transition, even when you feel exposed. I am your covering, even when you feel displaced. I am your dwelling place. I am not confined to rooms or walls. I am not limited by leases or locks. Wherever you go, I go before you. Wherever you land, I meet you there. You will never arrive alone. You will never start over unsupported. Your steps are being ordered even when they feel unsteady. Your future is being written even when your present feels torn apart. So do not curse this season. It is birthing something you begged me for. Do not call this the end. It is the doorway you could not have opened by yourself. Stay close now. Stay listening now. Because instruction will come in quiet moments. Direction will come in small nudges. Pay attention to the whispers. Pay attention to the unexpected help. Pay attention to the sudden peace that makes no sense. That is me guiding you. That is me confirming that you are not alone. And when the transition comes suddenly, do not be afraid to move quickly. When the door opens abruptly, do not hesitate in old fear. The timing will feel rushed, but it will actually be right on time. Trust the urgency. Trust the shift. Trust me, because I am not removing your shelter without securing your future. I am not closing your chapter without writing the next one in full. You are not stepping into emptiness. You are stepping into provision already reserved. You are not walking into danger. You are walking into divine alignment. The ground will feel new. The air will feel different. And your soul will recognize peace. Before your mind does, you will breathe deeply again. You will believe again. You will live again without constant fear at the door. And when you finally rest, you will remember this night. You will remember this message. And you will know you were warned. You were prepared. You were carried. This is not the end of your story. This is not the collapse you feared. This is the crossing you were destined for. Stay a little longer in my presence. Listen to the next whisper, because another word is already waiting for you. Do not rush out of this moment. Something is still settling in your spirit. There is a calm trying to rise beneath your fear. Let it rise. You have carried dread like a burden on your back. I am lifting it inch by inch. You have measured your future by threats. I am rewriting it with promises. Your hands have been trembling while you plan. Your heart has been racing while you wait. But heaven is steady. Heaven is not anxious about your tomorrow. What looks uncertain to you is already confirmed in the unseen. What feels unstable to you is already secured in eternity. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where the next miracle requires you to be. If you had stayed comfortable, you would have stayed contained. If you had stayed safe, you would have stayed small. I am enlarging your life, even while it feels like it is shrinking. I am expanding your borders, even while your walls feel like they are closing in. This is how new territories are entered. This is how new levels are unlocked. Through trembling, through surrender, through letting go of what once felt permanent. You keep asking for guarantees, but faith always walks before proof. You want certainty before movement, but movement is what creates certainty. So take the next step even while afraid. Take the next step even while unsure. You will not fall through the air. My hands are beneath you. You will not sink in the unknown. My voice will guide you. The path will not reveal itself all at once. Only the next step will be lit. That is how trust is built. Step by step. You are not weak for being afraid. You are brave for continuing anyway. You are not failing because you feel overwhelmed. You are human while carrying something divine. And I am gentle with you. I am not rushing your healing. I am not angry at your trembling. I am close to your shaking heart. I collect the tears you wipe away quickly. I count the breaths you take just to make it through the day. None of it is wasted. None of it is unseen. Even the nights where you feel like you are losing ground, you are actually gaining depth. Even the mornings where you wake up exhausted, you are still being strengthened. You think resilience comes from confidence. It actually grows in surrender. You think courage feels loud. Often it is quiet endurance. And that is what you are doing. Enduring when you thought you were only barely surviving. Your endurance is speaking louder in heaven than your panic ever did. You worry about what will happen to your things. I am more concerned with what is happening to your heart. You worry about where you will land. I am preparing who you will be when you arrive, because the next season requires a softer heart and a stronger trust. The next season will stretch you, but it will not break you. The next season will surprise you, but it will not destroy you. You will look back on this fear, and you will barely recognize it, because the peace that is coming will feel unfamiliar at first. You may even question it, because you lived so long in survival mode. But little by little, you will learn how to rest again. Little by little, you will learn how to hope without guarding your heart so tightly. You will stop jumping at every sound. You will stop expecting disaster at every door. Your nervous system will heal. Your spirit will breathe. And it will not happen all at once. It will happen gently. Because I am not in a hurry with you. I am not building you fast. I am building you solid. And when the dust of this transition settles, you will stand steadier than ever before. You will not just have a new place. You will have a new peace. You will not just have a new address. You will have a new assurance. And you will whisper softly one day, "He knew what he was doing." Even when you did not understand, even when you were afraid, you were still being led. You still are. Rest here a moment longer. There is still more unfolding for you. And the next whisper is already forming. You do not see the full picture yet, but you are not meant to. If you saw everything at once, you would be overwhelmed. So I reveal it to you in mercy, in pieces. Today you see loss. Tomorrow you will see purpose. Today you feel displacement. Tomorrow you will feel deliverance. You are standing in the middle of the sentence, not at the end of the story. Do not judge the chapter by one painful paragraph. I know the weight of uncertainty is heavy on your chest. I know questions echo louder than answers right now. But answers are coming in ways you are not expecting, through people you did not plan for, through opportunities you did not chase, through paths you thought were closed forever. You are about to receive kindness from strangers. You are about to see favor where you expected resistance. You will be surprised by how quickly support appears. Once the moment is right, not 1 second early, not 1 second late. Timing is my language, and precision is my promise. You thought the delay meant denial, but the delay was protection. If you had moved sooner, you would have moved into chaos. If you had stayed longer, you would have broken quietly. So I am moving you now, at the only moment that leads to life. You feel like you are losing control, but you are surrendering into safety. You feel like everything is uncertain, but heaven is very certain about you. Your name is not written in panic. It is written in purpose. Your future is not marked by eviction. It is marked by elevation. This season is uncomfortable because you are growing into a new capacity. Old spaces cannot hold new strength. Old rooms cannot contain new authority. You are becoming larger on the inside, so the outside must change. You are expanding in ways you cannot yet measure, so your environment must shift to match you. This is not chaos. This is recalibration. This is not random. This is realignment. Everything that is shaking is only what cannot go with you. Everything that remains will move with you into the next chapter. Let go without resentment. Let go without shame. You did not fail that place. You simply outgrew it. And outgrowing is not betrayal. It is obedience to the becoming. I am not uprooting you to punish you. I am transplanting you to strengthen you. The soil you are being moved into is richer than you know. The roots you will grow there will be deeper than before. You are about to rebuild in peace instead of panic. You are about to wake up without dread in your throat. You are about to plan without fear interrupting every thought. Your nervous waiting will turn into quiet expectation. Your clenched prayers will turn into whispered gratitude. And you will recognize the shift not by noise, but by calm, by the absence of constant worry, by the return of steady breath. You will feel safe again, not because the world changed, but because you did. You trusted through what scared you. You walked through what threatened you, and that courage rewired your soul. You are not the same person who first feared losing this house. You are stronger now, quieter now, deeper now. And that strength will carry you where fear never could. Stay soft through this transition. Do not harden your heart in self-defense. Softness will protect you better than walls ever could. Trust will cover you where locks never could. And love will lead you where fear never can. You are being led, even now. You are being steadied, even now. You are being held, even now. Stay here with me just a little longer. There is still one more promise I want to place gently into your heart. The promise is not loud. It is quiet and steady. It does not shout over your fear. It answers it with presence. You will not walk this transition alone. Not for a single step. Companionship has already been assigned to your journey. Some will come for a moment. Some will stay for a season. All will come with purpose. You will be helped in ways that don't make sense on paper. And you will learn that provision is more than money. It is timing. It is favor. It is the right person at the exact moment you almost give up. You are not behind where you should be. You are right on schedule for a miracle that requires patience. What is leaving your life now made room for what could not fit before? What is falling away now was too small for who you are becoming. You thought you were losing protection, but I am changing the form of it. You thought you were being exposed, but I am teaching you to live without fear of exposure. You will no longer hide in small spaces of safety. You will learn to stand in open places of trust. You will stop shrinking to survive. You will learn to expand to live. The door that closes will echo loudly for a moment, but the door that opens will be silent and sure. Do not mistake quiet arrival for small arrival. Some of the greatest blessings enter softly. Your spirit will recognize it before your mind does. Peace will enter the room ahead of explanation, and you will know you are in the right place. Not because everything is perfect, but because fear no longer rules your breath. You will still face challenges, but they will no longer define you. You will still work hard, but you will no longer feel hunted by desperation. Your striving will turn into stewardship. Your survival will turn into stability, and stability will give birth to generosity. You will help someone else one day who is standing where you once stood, and your voice will be steady when you say, "You will make it," because you will know it is true. You are not being reduced. You are being refined. You are not being stripped. You are being shaped. You are not being displaced. You are being deployed into a life that fits the new strength inside you, into a future that finally matches your growth. What you feared would end you is positioning you. What you thought would break you is building you. You have survived every worst day so far. This one will not be the exception. You will stand again. You will settle again. You will laugh again without flinching. And one day you will feel settled in your bones. Not just in a place, but in yourself. Because you will finally know that you are carried. Always. Even now. And especially now. Remain here a little longer. The final comfort is deepening. And the last word is coming softly. Do not be afraid of the quiet that follows the shaking. Silence is where healing settles in. You are not being left in the aftermath. You are being held in the stillness. What you survived did not come to define you. It came to reveal you. You are more resilient than your fear ever realized. Even now your heart is learning to trust again. Even now your spirit is relearning how to rest. This is not weakness. This is restoration. You lived so long in alert mode. You forgot what safety feels like. But safety is returning. Slowly, kindly, like light at dawn that does not rush the night. You may still feel echoes of worry. You may still glance over your shoulder at times. That is okay. Healing does not erase memory. It softens it. You will no longer relive the terror. You will remember only the victory. You thought you were being emptied. You were being made available. You thought you were being broken. You were being opened, so that something new could finally enter. And it will not arrive with chaos. It will arrive with peace. You will sense it before you see it. You will feel it before you explain it. A knowing will settle into your chest. A quiet assurance will replace the tightness you carried for so long. You will realize you are no longer bracing for impact. You are standing on steady ground again. The fear that once greeted you every morning will no longer wake up with you. Your first breath each day will feel softer. Your last thought each night will feel lighter. You will still remember the struggle, but it will no longer live inside your body. It will live outside of you as testimony. And when someone asks how you made it through, you will not have a perfect explanation. You will only have a quiet knowing that you were carried when you thought you were collapsing, that you were guided when you thought you were lost, that even when you felt abandoned by structure, you were never abandoned by presence. You lived inside walls for a time, but you always lived inside grace. And grace never evicted you. It only moved you when it was time to grow. So now let your shoulders soften. Let your breath deepen. You do not have to be on guard in this moment. You do not have to solve tomorrow tonight. Tonight you are simply allowed to be held. Held in patience. Held in promise. Held in a future that is already leaning toward you. The door you feared is no longer the focus. The path ahead is. And it is opening gently, quietly, surely. Stay with this peace a little longer. Let it settle into the places fear once ruled. Because you are no longer standing at the edge of loss. You are standing at the beginning of release. And the final word is almost ready to rest on your heart. The final word is not one of fear. It is one of assurance. You are not late to your life. You arrived exactly when you were meant to. Nothing has been wasted. Not the tears. Not the delays. Not even the nights you thought broke you. They shaped you quietly. They strengthened you secretly. And now you are stepping into the season they prepared you for. You will not have to fight for what comes next. It will meet you with open hands. You will not have to beg for what is yours. It will recognize you. What is meant for you will know your voice. It will respond when you arrive. You have spent enough time proving your endurance. Now you get to experience mercy. You have spent enough nights bracing for loss. Now you will learn how to receive. This is not where your story collapses. This is where it turns gently toward hope. The ground beneath you is no longer giving way. It is becoming firm again. You may still feel cautious. You may still feel tender. That is not weakness. That is wisdom after survival. You will move forward slowly at first. You will test the ground with careful steps. And each step will hold. You will begin to trust again. Not all at once, but enough to keep moving. And one day you will look around and realize you are no longer in transition. You are simply living, breathing without counting, sleeping without listening for trouble, planning without fear interrupting every dream. You will feel at home again, even before you have all the answers. Because home will no longer be just a place. It will be a feeling inside your chest, a steadiness you thought you lost, a peace you thought was only for other people, but it was always meant for you too. You were never overlooked. You were being prepared quietly. You were never abandoned. You were being carried invisibly. And now the weight is lifting, even if just a little at a time. Let it lift. You do not need to hold it anymore. You have held enough. The path ahead is not empty. It is simply uncluttered. And into that open space, something good is already moving. Rest here. Breathe here. You are safe in this moment. And when you are ready, let the next message meet you where you are. Because this journey is still unfolding. And you are not walking it alone.